Hi, I'm Sandy, and this is Yoga Talks with Sandy. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned to one of my family members that I was doing these yoga talks, and so she listened to the first 3 talks, and then she called me, and she said, Sandy, you're so brave. And then she went on to say, you really put yourself out there. I can't get over how brave you are. And I have to say, really surprised at her message. When I started to do these videos, I wasn't really thinking of myself as brave. I was sort of thinking of doing what I love to do, which is taking topics and bringing them to a deeper level. But in her tone of saying to me I was brave and I was putting myself out there, I couldn't let that go. I was so curious about it. So what came to me the next day was I remembered that I used to have a sticky note on my computer. And I wrote this sticky note when I started my yoga teacher training about 10 years ago. And the note said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I used to look at that note and I'd ask myself that question, and then I would challenge myself and I would do those things that I was afraid of. And of course, being afraid and bravery go hand in hand, because if we weren't afraid, where would the bravery part be? We need to be afraid of doing something in order to be brave. So when my family member said that I was brave, I think that I must have built my bravery muscle by having that sticky note on my computer saying, what would you do if you weren't afraid? It built into my consciousness that question. And it also built in the challenge of, well, if I wasn't afraid, I would do this. And if I wasn't afraid, I would do that. And it allowed me to go there in my mind so that eventually I didn't need the sticky note reminding me that I should go in the direction of fear, or I should go in the direction of bravery. So that acknowledgement when my family called and said, you were brave, you put yourself out there, reminded me of the amazing work that the question, what would you do if you weren't afraid, how that question has enhanced my life and how it's made being brave easier.